Steen Rasmussen, senior partner and co-founder of AIinCommunication, today having the fancy title of Director of Data Innovation. It's kind of, for a lot of years, I've been kind of just calling myself co-founder. It doesn't help people. Right? So saying what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push the next frontiers in data. Right? So and for me, this has been one of my SuperWeek has been one of my favorite places to come to kind of get my imagination sparked and connect with people. So it's a lot about the connection. I think we did the first Google Analytics course in Copenhagen when Google acquired Urchin. But it took a while before we became partners. But from the beginning, we were actually quite focused on it because AIH as a company is it's kind of a funny story because we were both. I was partner in another agency before that, and Henrik, my co-founder, and I left that company and started AIH because we felt that there was so much data being gathered that wasn't being used for anything. So we wanted to focus on that, and at the same time, we wanted to say the most important thing was not sales, it was customer satisfaction, and that was kind of the idea with AIH. I think what's the term you can say? Analytics has gone from being a competitive advantage to something that is just absolutely necessary, right? So if you don't have it now, it doesn't have to be Google Analytics, but the understanding that analytics can deliver on your organization is immense. But I do feel there's a massive gap in some organizations between the intention of being data-driven and actually being data-driven. That cultural issue, I see that a lot, saying that you have this, you get this, people want to be data deceived. So somebody will come to you and say, hey, I need a report of how well this campaign performed. And then if you give them the data saying, yeah, that campaign sucked, it's like, no, I can't show these numbers to the board. Can you give me some better numbers? And then you have to rework the numbers, and that's really not being data driven, right? It's data as an alibi, but it doesn't help the company. I think we're at a place now, right, where what's the term? The future is consented. I think that is something. Getting that consent is something that is critical now. To the degree that we're kind of in a place where the path separates, right? So we have to make choices saying, sure, we can go for solutions that are not consented, but the quality of data that is there is really not something you want to operate a business on. So the only alternative is going for the consented data and actually trying to build that relationship. But it's really complicated because I think the consent is getting more expensive. People want more. You now have like you have ad blockers, you have consent blockers, where where the consent blocker automatically declines consent, and so it's becoming more difficult to be a business. So I think that there is a bridge being built in relation to the data that we have and the data we need, and that is really about filling in the blank spot. Yes, absolutely. The future will be more complicated than the past was. But I also see it because the future of data is much more valuable than the past was. Right? If I look back to some of the first implementations I did, basically the clients and me as well, we were kids playing around with the candy inside the candy store. We were throwing it. We were building houses out of it. Nobody was eating it. And then suddenly we got locked out of the candy store. And now we're looking through the window. We can see all the candy, and we're trying to grab a little candy with a stick or something. But it's not going to be the same. But now we actually have a focus of enjoying the candy we can get. So for me, I've actually been, I think the accessibility of universal analytics, that you felt you had access to everything, right? That was one of the things I missed. One of the things I like the most is that the lack of accessibility that you actually now have to have the conversation with the customer and say, why are you tracking? What do you need? What do you want? Instead of just having access to everything and then using nothing, then I would rather give them access to less that actually has a value, right? So you get this sometimes. I can do it tomorrow. Yeah. So I bet you had this as well. Somebody saying, yeah, okay, we want a GA Google Analytics implementation. Okay, what should we track? Track everything, right? And everything is not possible anymore. It's not legal. It's not possible. It's getting too expensive. So people actually have to decide what they want.
Yeah.
Say it's like if you come and say, "Hey, Steen, buy me a bottle of wine. What do you want?" Yeah, all of them. It's like I think it's the ability to drill down. I have a lot of routines from Universal Analytics, how I would tackle the data. But I think actually I like it more. So I have so probably like you as well. I was first certified in Web Trends, and then I was certified in Adobe, and then I was certified in Google Analytics. So I can kind of see the Adobe approach and the value of what you get in something you have to customize from the beginning. Yeah. So the only thing I miss is that they didn't launch a finished product, yeah. Right? So this that if you were to write a new book today, it would be hell because you would have to update it every week, saying, yeah, this is edition 1.07,
yeah, that's true.
2.519. So maybe I'm not looking at my annotations. It has been something that probably one of the most underutilized features for most people, but one of the most valuable in having like an annotation structure where you could actually get your data in context. And then one thing I miss in analytics in general that had both been both universal but also GA4 now is the ability to set targets, because everything is so what are we trying to achieve? You cannot enter a target that would actually make the numbers more valuable by having it something you could relate to, saying, okay, we want this number of sales for the full year. Mm-hmm. Are we on target to that? Well, you have to see that somewhere else, right? Yeah. So why not have it built in as a feature, because that would actually massively increase the value of the platform.